Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Calm Warrior Yoga in your living room, are quarantined or isolated or sequestered. They're all confined. In some ways, it's an act of love and connection with others that we are staying physically distant and physically separate. So acknowledging that gift of love that we're giving each other by not getting physically close right now. So this practice is designed to mobilize the spine, build up a little bit of inner heat and core activation, as well as providing some gentle back bends to energize us for the day. It's an all levels class, and so and always the promptings of your own body in every yoga class. Because what is the goal of yoga? Right now, you might be joining this class to manage stress. A worthy goal for yoga, but sometimes it can also be used to increase energy. It can be used to or consciousness. And it's not even that yoga can be used for these things. It's more that yoga is a platform for. It is like an ocean ourselves into to take us further on our path, to provide us solace and grounding where we are. And the common denominator between all the awesome and groovy kinds of yoga is the breath. So we'll begin there. In a comfortable seated position, Sukhasana, if that's comfortable for you. If sitting's and begin to turn your attention inwards. You can lightly close your eyes if you wish, or just gaze at a point several feet is being supported by the earth. And now as you turn your attention to your breath, so we're taking the conscious mind, the breath as it flows out and in. And as we observe something like this down, not right away maybe, notice how your mind wants to flip off to what happened yesterday or what might happen tomorrow or what needs to happen today. Those things are all valid, and they will still be there for you to deal with even better once you're centered in the breath. So just gently guide your attention back to the sensation of the breath coming in and the sensation of the breath going out, breathing in through the nose and so one of the things that this time is teaching me is, reminding me, is the inner workings. Most of us have a little bit more time. Our inner response to things and our reactions. So that same type of noticing we're bringing now to the sensation of the breath. And notice as you exhale how there's a dropping down sensation. So a sinking down, and you can let any tension that you're aware of just begin to go out with the breath. So sometimes we can be all or nothing, thinking like, I can't relax because you can't do it 80% or 90% or perfectly. Go with 2%. Let just 2% of the tension in your shoulders and in your face and in your jaw. Just let it go just ever so slightly. And notice that sense of heaviness or sinking on the exhale. Yes. And notice on the inhale, how does this sense of lifting or expanding? So allow that to happen now. Turning our attention to the inhale and allowing that sense of expansion and lifting to elongate the spine, reaching through the crown of the head on the inhale. So on the exhale, body sinking down, especially lower body connected to the earth. And on the inhale, elongating, reaching through the spine, lifting. And then right in the middle of this movement, in the middle of the inhale and the exhale is the witness, the one who is noticing these things. In the middle of the movement of this breath is the I that has always been I, the same reference point that you've brought through your whole life, from when your first memory in childhood, adolescence, through to wherever you are now. That same I is referenced now, here in this moment, watching the breath. Good, and allow it to deepen now. But let that be easy, so the inhale's coming in deeper, exhale out longer. You can use Ujjayi breath if you like, where you constrict the back of the nasal passage. It's like you're fogging a mirror, but you do it with your mouth closed. It makes a little sound that you can hear and help your mind to focus. Right, good. So from here, bringing any sense of centering that you've gained through the movement as we get onto our hands and knees. Now in this class, of course, I'm going to be demonstrating more, not like usual where I'm going around the class. So it's a little different for me, just like it's different for you. But we're going to come over onto all fours Hands right below shoulders, knees right below hips, toes curled under. And press your fingertips into the mat ever so slightly to hollow out the palms, like you're gripping something under the earth. It's a great cue from Ian Finn, and that protects the wrists. Take a couple of breaths here. Good. And on your next inhale, look up. Arms stay straight, shoulders away from the ears. Exhaling and round. Keep those fingertips pressed. And back and forth in your own rhythm. Because you might breathe slower or faster. Like Megan Curry says, breath is boss. And now notice the motion in your entire spine, so you're not sticking all your attention or all the movement into one area. Start to become aware of your entire spine, from the crown of your head to your tailbone. Yoga is not about making our bodies do anything. It's about mindful awareness of what's happening, listening to the body, introducing some movement, seeing this. All right, so when you come back to, as if you were shaking someone's hand back in the day when we could shake, and maybe your left leg floats back. Breathe. Make sure you don't dump a lot of pressure into your left wrist. Keep those fingertips pressing to protect that wrist. Come back to the mat. Right hand grounded, left hand reaches, thumb up, right leg floats back. Breathe. And back to the mat. So just like this time is having us be more aware of our inner experience, right arm reaches left leg. In the same way, be really curious and mindful about your inner experience of your yoga. It's not a performance, it's an experience. So imagine you have an elastic band between your right fingers and your left foot, and you're making it longer. And feel that activation diagonally through your body from your right fingertips to your left sole foot. Don't worry about what it looks like. Feel and come back to the mat. Left arm reaches, right leg, again, like you have one of those physiotherapy bands that you're stretching long. And back to the mat. Okay, bring your soles of your toes together. Yes, and your knees wide. And now sit down on your heels or towards your heels. Look up towards the top of your mat. And now reach out to the top of your mat, looking at your hands and seeing where they land, gluing them down. And now drop your hips back, lower your head. So an active child's pose. Breathe. As you breathe here, allow the inhale to come. So as you inflate your belly, allow that air then to come into your side ribs, widening and expanding you there. And then drop on the exhale, getting long through the spine. Give yourself permission to feel. Off the mat, lay them down now. So your forearms are down on the mat and they're parallel. And stretch out in your lower body and come right down onto the mat. in Sphinx. So you can imagine you're pulling the mat towards you. And really for me here is to want to pull my head back, right? So imagine a long line from the base of your spine through the crown of your head, so keep the back of the neck long. Blades are actively coming together. Shoulder blades down your back and towards each other. Lead with the heart here. Imagine that air coming into your heart space forward. All right, so stick your yoga cue and curl your toes under and come up into a plank. Forearm plank. And now drop your knees back on the mat and come up. We're getting ready for Anahatasana, puppy pose. So come up enough so that your thighs are, your toes are curled under, and then reach forward for the top of the mat. And open your heart to the earth. You can look forward to your hands if you want that little back bend for the neck. When we spend a lot of time on the phone, especially, or iPad, those kinds of devices, we can get a little more of a forward curve. At any rate, you can look forward to the top of your mat, unless that's really compressive for your neck, in which case drop your forehead to the mat. Breathe. Okay, slowly walk your hands towards you. You're going to come back to all fours. Knees right under hips, hands right under shoulders, and then bring your hand one hand length away and replace it. It's a great distance for down dog. Curl your toes under and up and back to down dog. So pedal it out. So weight and straight into one foot, weight and straight into the other foot. Just back and forth. Breathe. And then settle into your down dog with knees bent. So bend your knees a lot and really reach your hips up and back. And see how long you can up to your throat. All right, and make your way to the front of the mat. And when you get there, stand up, reach up, look up. So mountain pose briefly. Bring your arms down alongside you. Bring your weight forward so that you have to clench your toes to keep you from falling forward, and then come back on your heels. And then come right through the center of your feet. So your weight's equally distributed, almost like each foot was a rectangle, and the weight was right through the center of the rectangle. Inhale your shoulders up and drop them. Drop your shoulder blades down your back. Breathe. Get the thighs active, so you're activating these thigh muscles, lifting the kneecaps a little bit. Crown of head reaching for the sky. Breathe. Three rounds of sun salutation. So inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold all the way over. Inhale, halfway flat back. Exhale, plant your hands back to plank. Inhale. Down, the elbows go towards the feet. Inhale, cobra. Not much happening with your hands here, it's just a slight back bend. Spiral the inner elbows forward.
Shoulder blades down the back, stretching the mat between your hands and your feet. Knees bent to get more length through your spine. And make your way to the front of the mat. Hands to heart. All right, let's keep it going. Reach up and fold. Halfway, flat back, reaching through the crown of the head. Lower down to the mat, hover if you wish, and then come up to cobra or up dog. Up dog is straight arms, tops of feet, and down dog. Breathe. Be curious about the inner experience. Ian Finn says that we make shapes to have feelings. So once you've got the shape, feel it, be present to what's happening. If you're thinking about what you want to do later, go deeper so that the sensation gets your attention. If you're gutting it out, hoping it's over soon, back out of it. Don't push yourself so hard. And make your way to the front of the mat. And when you get there, stand up, reach up, look up. Hands to heart. Halfway flat back. Plant your hands, step. Peel your heart up to up dog or cobra. And down dog. Breathe. Come forward into plank. Maybe you lift one leg. If you can lift both at the same time, let me know. I'd be really interested in that. Lift your right leg again. And your left leg again. And down dog. When you get there, stand up, reach up, look up. Hands to heart. Press your thumbs into your sternum, into your breastbone, and connect into your heart. Moment of thanks to the heart. Good, and then from here, bring your attention to the soles of your feet and begin to drop the weight into your right foot. And as you drop the weight into the right foot and begin to unload the left, imagine that the pressure from your right foot is spreading roots, pushing them into the earth. Maybe you high march the left, or maybe you just experiment with what it feels like to stand on one leg. And that wobble you feel is you being in balance. Rumi said once that the best disciple stumbles but never. So the wobble, all the emotions that you feel, it's part of being in balance. Now come forward with your upper body so that you can reach this left foot back. We're going to crescent lunge. So drop those left toes down, keep that back foot vertical, and come up into crescent lunge. You could drop that back knee. You could have your hands on your thigh and be in runner's lunge. So wherever we are, we're looking for this opening in the front of the left hip and maybe in the pelvis, and also feeling this dynamic connection. So some things to do in this pose is to go deeper, but make sure that this lower leg here doesn't, make sure it's over the foot so that your knee's not coming over your toes. Yeah, and that back knee also wants to bend, doesn't it? So keep it straight. Breathe. All right, we're going to drop that back knee if you brought it up and bring your hands on the inside of your right foot for lizard. So keep those left toes curled under and come down on the inside of that right knee. You might be put your forearms down. Years of long distance running. Yeah. All right, so leave that left hand on the mat. Bring your right hand up on the inside of your knee and press it out. Your foot. Breathe. Left foot, almost like those toes in take off sprinting. And from that foundation, press in and bring that power and force through the back, upper back, until you're looking up over your right shoulder. All right, slowly come on out of that. We're going to go to down dog. So you might need to scoot your foot out of the way so you can place your hands in the correct position, fingertips pressing. Bring that back knee up now, and then send that right leg up into the sky. And meet up in down dog. Breathe. All right, make your way to the front of the mat. Get there, stand up, reach up, look up. And hands to heart. Okay, we'll do same love for the other side. So begin to drop your weight now into the left foot. Play around with lifting up your right foot, or maybe you high march your right leg. See if you can be balanced here without gripping in the toes. Lunge or crescent lunge by pitching our upper body forward as we reach back with those toes. Find a home for them way back on your mat. And when you do, keep that foot vertical and come up into crescent lunge. Or you could drop the knee for runner's lunge. Breathe. So keeping those left toes relaxed, the right leg going towards straight-ish, hands reaching for the sky. Breathe. Maybe even a little back bend here, looking up. If you want more challenge, you could close your eyes. There's always somewhere else, some other thing we can learn. Yes? If that knee came up, drop the left foot on the right side of the left foot. Stretch probably in your left hamstring or in your hip. If you're not feeling much, you can increase the distance by lifting the knee up and dropping it back again. But getting some stretch in your left hamstring, probably right quad and hip. All right, now leave that right hand on the mat, remembering to press into the fingertips to protect the wrist. Left hand comes up on the inside of the left knee, pressing it out. Take a look at the sole of your foot. Breathe. So everything is available in every pose. There's nothing missing. Feel the power of your right foot pressing, and imagine that force now coming up through the base of your spine, low back, mid back, upper back, and then finally over your left shoulder. Spiral from the back foot, base of spine, and then right through the crown of your head. So run that through your body. So the stress itself isn't a bad thing. It's how we direct it, how we direct that energy, those impulses, and then come out of this pose. Go to down dog, so you might want to scoot that foot out of the way and place your hand, and then bring that left leg up into the sky, if you wish, and back to down dog. And drop onto your knees. In, and we'll do some shoulder rolls. I think this is where my Zoom meeting cut out last week. Sorry about that. Hopefully this is 3 times lucky. That was two tech fails, and then go the other way. So Tuning Tree's gonna put all our stuff on our YouTube channel. So this is being recorded. So if you like the class, you can go to our YouTube channel. Now alternately, and there's a lot of other stuff there. Katie did a small ball class for neck pain. I did a talk on social/physical distance, and then go the other way. And other stuff going up all the time. So check out our YouTube channel. All right, so arms overhead, and now drop your left hand on the mat and reach with your right. So keep that right sit bone anchored down as you reach through the fingertips, and now breathe into your side ribs. All right, on your next inhale, come up and over and right across. So we're getting the spine working in all planes. Flexion, extension, rotation, side bending. That way we always have balance. And in yoga, this is the Sushumna Nadi, is the spine, the central channel. On an inhale, come up and across. So visualizing energy guided by the breath through the spine is a complete yoga practice in itself. And inhale, last time. Over to the, stretch out the left side, reaching with those fingertips, left hip anchoring down. And come back to center. All right. We're going to Malasana from here. So feel free to body. Press your fingertips or your palms into the mat. I need a little bit more lift, so I press my fingertips and in one motion come up onto your feet. So feet are wide in Malasana, heels closer and toes wide, and elbows on the insides of the knees, hands in prayer. On your toes because your calves are tight. When you do your home practice, put a book or something under your heels. And we won't do it probably that long here. 2 or 3 minutes in this pose. And if your heels are anchored, you'll have an easier time finding that reach and length through the spine. So the bottom of your spine it's called the sacrum, and it's like an arrow. Now into the earth, base of your spine dropping down into the earth. Out of your head reaches, breathe. Proposed to do a day, I think this would be it. All right, and then pad for crow, which we won't do today. On that, let me know, and we could set. Crow is one of my favorites. All right, so for tabletop, now I'm just going to turn on my mat.
So bring your hands behind you, fingers pointed forward, and press your soles, your feet to the ground as you lift your hips up. Fingertips are pressing in. No means no. So if your body says no to something, listen to it. No gets our attention. You don't gut it out and go through whatever that is. All right, so now bend your knees. Reverse tabletop this way. And then straighten your legs again and come down onto the ground. Good. So generating a little bit of heat, yes? So in long sitting, in staff pose, you can get that flesh out behind you, so you're sitting on your sit bones, and your quads are actually pretty rock hard here, okay? Really contract these nice and strong, okay? And toes are up, and you're just sitting and breathing here. So reaching through the crown of your head, imagine energy from the earth through the crown of the head and from your pelvis through your feet. Bend this left leg, bring the heel in right into the perineum if that's available for you, if it comes up that high. And then turn so that you're just facing the long leg, which is the right leg. And you can bring your hands around the back of the leg and just curl forward. Now for some, this is Shirshasana, head to foot pose for lots of us. The head and the foot are a long ways away. For you, you might fold right down on your leg. So feel what your body needs today, and without force, come forward, allowing that to stretch out through your calf, hamstring, back. Right, slowly come up, and now draw this right heel in. On the other side. So bring that heel into your perineum. You can press that right knee down a little bit if you like, and then turn so you're facing that left leg, and then come forward towards it. So you're just looking for a stretch somewhere. You're looking for it to open you up. So all our stress and our fight and flight system, it's a valuable system, and it's designed to be short-term to respond to perceived threat. It's not meant to be a long-term state, and when it is, it becomes exhausting. So look for the place that inside yourself here that makes this easy, so we're not fighting it. We're allowing ourselves to be open, to stand down. Every warrior needs to eat, to rest, to love and be loved. All right, slowly come on up out of that, and we're making our way down onto the mat. So slowly come down, bring your knees in, and by straightening and bending your elbow at the elbows, rock your knees towards your nose, back and forth, to open up through your SI joint, the base of your spine. You can do some circles side to sides, wherever feels good. All right, plant your feet so your knees are bent and your feet are flat. Bring your arms alongside you, palms up. Drape your right knee over your left. So you're crossing your knees, right leg on top. And now drop to the right. So let the weight of your right knee drop you to the right. And let that stretch you out in your left hip, left back. You might even feel that up into your pecs or lats if your palm up in your reach. Find the calm within yourself. It's always there. The calm is there. In the sensation, in the breath. Drop that right knee off now and come back to center, and then plant the feet flat again. Arms out alongside you in a T, palms up. Now drape the left knee on top of the right and drop to the left. So you're dropping to the left, open up through your right hip, right back, maybe even up into your pec or lats. Breathe. Soften. It off and then come back to center. Bring your knees in one more time. And then feet flat, knees bent. See if you can touch the backs of your heels. We're setting up for a bridge. So your feet are close, that you can just graze your heels possibly with your fingertips. And now feel the contact of your palms, forearms, triceps, and shoulders on the mat, and your feet on the floor, and lift into a simple bridge. Now in the morning, it's nice to do a slightly energizing practice. So if full wheel is in your practice, or you want to do another back bend, this is a great time to do it. If you're staying in bridge, as I will do, keep your coming towards each other so that your knees aren't splaying out, and that will help to energize and bring attention to your pelvic floor and inner groin muscles. And now lift higher. And then slowly lower down. Roll it from the top, down your back. And we'll do one more, so press through the soles of your feet, coming up into a bridge. Maybe your hands come underneath you and you scoot your shoulder blades closer, widening through the heart, clasping your hands, getting long, long, long through your front body. Inner knees still coming together. So a point of energy from your knees to your throat. And then release, slowly come down. Shoulder stand. Now, if you're going to do a shoulder stand, please don't watch me do it, because you want to be looking at the ceiling. So let's cue first the block. So if you have a block or a book, put it under the base of your spine and find a spot where you can place it so that your feet are easily just sticking up in the air without too much effort. Okay? So do that if that feels groovy to you. And if you want to do a shoulder stand,
Remember, it's shoulder stand, not neck stand. So if there's ever any neck pain when you do a shoulder stand, you come at the ceiling, not at me. Press your hands into the mat and pick your hips up straight up at the ceiling, up at your feet. Breathe. Now your body is nice and warmed up here. So if there's something you want to practice that you're working on in your yoga practice, this would be a good time on the recorded version to pause it and do that. So if you're working on your headstand or your handstand or a back bend or anything like that, you could pause this because after this will come Savasana. So slowly come on out of your legs in the air or your shoulder stand. And back on your mat. You have a bolster or pillow or something you can put under your knees for your comfort of your low back. That's ideal. But if lying flat is comfortable, that's good too. Let your feet be a little wider than you might think. So heels pointed to the bottom corners of the mat. And you could put a low pillow, quite a flat pillow, under your head just to give you a little bit of a chin. Help keep the airway open. So feel the contact of your back body on the earth. Let go of control of your breath, of your muscles, of your thoughts, of your feelings. And just revel in a state of receptive awareness, body supported. Allow your eyeballs to drop into the backs of their sockets. All the little muscles around your face, your eyes softening, letting your ears fall towards the earth, your jaw goes slack. Let your thoughts drop away from your frontal cortex, from your forehead, just as if gravity's pulling them into the back of your brain, dropping your thoughts into the back of your head. Soft and undefended. A warrior knows when and how to take off the mask, when and how to take off the armor. Do you imagine that you have some kind of armor, chainmail, or corset, or cover on your front body that you just reach up with an invisible hand and pull off and lay alongside you, ready to pick up if and when you go into battle. But for now, you're safe, you're at ease, undefended.
Soham. 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 Soham.
So stay in your Savasana as long as it serves you.